Developmental psychology is the study of how the mind develops. Study begins with electrochemical impulses of the nervous system that are mediated by the brain as an organ, the biology of psychology, and extends to complex activity of intentional learning, reasoning, and imagining. The first step in developmental psychology is understanding how the organ of the brain functions. The most basic level, its work is based on chemical electrical impulses that produce initiation and timing signals from the brain to all other organ systems, which ensures automatic working of organs like the heart, lung, and sensory organ systems, as well as supporting thinking, mammalian decision-making, action initiation. Be sure to take a look at these websites so that you have lots of experience with how the brain parts interact. The brain is divided into hindbrain, midbrain, and forebrain. Each part controls particular functions. Here you see a picture of the brain. Brain 1 is the center of the brain, or the reptile brain. Brain 2 is the old mammalian brain, and brain 3 is the neocortex, which belongs just to the primates, especially human primates like you and me. The hindbrain is considered the most ancient part of the brain and is the first formed or evolved in lizards that lived 2 million years ago. That's why it's called the reptile part of the brain. It functions as a basic controller of life and will maintain basic functions of life even though the mid and the forebrain are not functioning well. For example, if a person loses the use of the forebrain, items can still be seen and chosen, even though the conscious mind acts as if that person's vision is gone. The midbrain relays sensory information and controls movement, and also provides the pathway for dopamine, a chemical that causes people to feel pleasure, the built-in reward system of your body. The forebrain literally covers all the midbrain and some of the hindbrain. Basic survival drives like feeding, attacking, fleeing, and mating are located here. Additionally, the endocrine system controller, the pituitary gland, also is located in the forebrain. The forebrain contains the cerebral cortex, which regulates memory processes, language formation, problem solving, and active or conscious perception. Without the cerebral cortex, mammals would be instinctually driven, as are insects, birds, and fish, and would have no capability of intentional learning or metacognitive function. So the cerebral cortex is what psychologists are mostly interested in. You can see here that from the very beginning, the cerebral cortex, the pink part, grows and grows until it dominates the human brain exterior. The next several slides will have terminology that you should be well familiar with. Neurons, cells that communicate events in and outside the body. Axons, cell fibers of a neuron that carry information away from the site of memory. Dendrites, receptors for chemical and electrical impulses on the neuron. It activates a response. The synapse, the chemical bridges from one neuron to another, a gateway and a barrier. Here you can see a picture of the neocortex and all the various parts that are called out in it. The frontal lobe is associated with synthesis of the ideas and compassion and altruism. The parietal lobe is connected to synthesis of information and storage of all items of sensory perception. The temporal lobe is the area associated with auditory and olfactory function. The occipital lobe is the area connected with visual functions. The motor cortex is where all motor functions begin, and the sensory cortex is where all sensory functions are received and relayed for further interpretation. Myelin is the fatty insulation around the neurons and the axons. The cerebellum maintains balance and coordination. The right hemisphere is about the big picture and is associated with creativity, movement, intuition, subjective reasoning. The left hemisphere is about organization, language, linear functions, and objective reasoning. The corpus callosum is a group of nerve fibers that connects the right and left hemispheres. The sympathetic system is about stress and survival, and the parasympathetic system is about daily activity that you make choices. Here is a picture of the triune, what happens left, right, and in the R complex and in the combinations. So brain growth and learning occur in spurts, followed by plateaus. There's always variety, but most development falls within these parameters. Interestingly, on an oscilloscope, brain growth looks like long ocean swells with peaks and troughs. So when you think about what we've done here in this particular presentation, take time to watch the videos, and so you have some repetition and of the presentations. And remember that repetition is a way that you groove the information into your brain. So bye for now.